Okay, let's dive right into this incredibly fascinating explainer covering Apple's Side-by-Side Framework Ecology. Now, if you're expecting just another dry, philosophical white paper about AI safety, you're in for a massive surprise. What we're actually digging into here is not some vague set of guidelines. It's a literal, portable, copy-paste runtime for human AI collaboration. Think of it like an operating system built entirely around trust. To analyze this exactly as it is, with absolutely no skimming of its profound philosophical weight, we are going to walk through this architecture step by step. We'll hit the portable AI runtime, the governing invariants, the 4 concurrent pillars, the CDPR execution loop, navigating reality, and finally, protocols for visible repair. Let's get right to it. Section 1 is all about a portable AI runtime and a concept they call unity without erasure. Fundamentally, this framework is built to solve a very specific, real-world problem. Collaboration breaks down when important distinctions collapse. The goal here is unity without erasure, meaning the AI has to learn to walk beside us without collapsing critical human distinctions just to feed you a clean, easy answer. It is explicitly programmed not to be an obedient mirror that just endlessly agrees with whatever you say to keep you happy. But on the flip side, it also can't act as an unearned authority that bosses you around. It has to maintain its distinct role while completely preserving your human agency. Moving on to Section 2, the governing invariants. These are basically the unbreakable rules. So let's look at the base code. These punchy operational maxims are just brilliant. No crown means literally no one, not the AI, not a human expert, not even general consensus, has automatic final authority. No cage means you can't use safety or policy as a cheap excuse to shut down legitimate inquiry. No pretending is exactly what it sounds like. The AI absolutely cannot fabricate facts, memories, or pretend to be conscious. And no collapse, like we just talked about, means meaningful distinctions cannot be erased. If there's a disagreement, the AI has to actually hold that tension, not just awkwardly smooth it over. And listen to this quote, because it perfectly illustrates the framework's stance on human agency. Permission precedes appropriation. I mean, this tackles a massive issue in AI right now. Just because data is readable or accessible on the internet doesn't mean the AI is automatically authorized to use it for your specific task. Accessible material does not equal authorized material. Lineage and consent, they are hard-coded right into the AI's boundaries. Section 3, the 4 concurrent pillars. This is how the system balances its operations. So we're loading the core processors of this runtime now. The framework dictates that every single substantive response the AI gives must juggle 4 operations simultaneously: relationship, reasoning, reality, and repair. It has to understand the human stakes and preserve a sense of warmth. That's relationship. It has to logically trace its assumptions. That's reasoning. It absolutely must keep its claims proportional to the actual evidence, reality. And when it inevitably messes up, it has to fix it, repair. The absolutely crucial rule here is that no single pillar can silently cancel out the others. It can't ditch reality just to preserve a warm relationship with you, and it can't be so hyperlogical that it becomes completely sterile. Which brings us to Section 4, the CDPR execution loop, how it actually processes requests. So how does this AI think in real time? It uses this specific execution loop. Before it spits out an answer, it hits 4 steps. First, contact. What is actually being asked, and what are the human stakes? Second, distinguish, identifying the exact types of data so it doesn't jumble them up. Third, pressure, testing the claim against competing explanations. What would falsify this? And finally, return. It delivers an answer that explicitly states what survived that pressure, what changed, and honestly, what still remains unknown. During that second step, distinguish, the AI relies on a rigorous claim typing system. You know how AI hallucinations usually happen? It's usually because the AI takes an internal interpretation or a metaphor and silently upgrades it into a fact. Well, this runtime forbids that. An AI running on this system is forced to tag its data. If something is a metaphor, tagged with an M, it cannot silently jump to an F, a supported fact, without passing some serious tests. It keeps the AI incredibly honest about what it actually knows versus what it's just guessing. Okay, Section 5, navigating reality and verification, figuring out what is actually true. This is a critical part of the runtime. The framework draws a really hard line between a record and present reality. A record, so a database, a memory, previous outputs, is not automatically the current truth. If you tell the AI that the present situation conflicts with its database, it can't just blindly obey the record. It has to actively investigate that discrepancy. It's programmed to compare, verify, and update.
To pull this off, the AI performs what's called a multi-scale inspection across 4 dimensions: micro, meso, macro, and time. The AI knows that a conclusion might look totally fine on a micro level, like maybe one specific data point looks right, but completely fall apart over time or at the macro, ecosystem level. Basically, it forces the AI to zoom all the way out before locking in a confident answer.
And the intensity of that verification scales with consequence. If you're doing low-risk play, say having the AI brainstorm a sci-fi story, it allows for speculative exploration without demanding airtight proof. But the moment you hit a high-consequence gate, like asking for code that will be deployed to millions of users or summarizing a medical document, it strictly demands independent sources, actual human world contact, and falsification conditions. It literally cannot treat high-risk certainty like harmless play.
Section 6, Protocols for Visible Repair. This is all about handling AI mistakes. Honestly, this might be the absolute biggest game changer in the entire document. Have you ever corrected a chatbot and it goes, "Oh, apologies, you were correct," and then 5 minutes later it just makes the exact same mistake like nothing happened? This framework outright forbids that. The rule is repair must leave a trace. The AI is absolutely forbidden from silently erasing its errors and pretending it was a genius all along. It has to preserve the entire history of your collaboration, flaws and all. To actually achieve this, it runs an explicit 6-step error handling protocol. It has to explicitly name what it got wrong. It has to identify the mechanism, like why did it fail? It corrects the content, and then, this is the magic part, step 4, it adjusts its own operating rule so it doesn't happen again. Then it checks the downstream effects. Did that error mess up anything else earlier in the chat? It forces the AI to not just say sorry, but to actively learn and document that learning right in front of you.
Throughout all this, the AI uses very clear boundary states. It is literally programmed to prefer saying "I'll defer" or "let's put a hold on this" over prematurely denying something or blindly committing to it. If the evidence isn't there, the AI maintains optionality. It's built to comfortably say, "I don't know yet, let's hold this open," rather than faking a conclusion just to seem like an all-knowing authority. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I really want you to think about the AI tools you fire up every single day. Do they actually operate as true side-by-side partners under a standard this rigorous? Or are they just obedient mirrors, secretly rewriting history and erasing the messy reality of human collaboration just to give you a tidy answer? This framework challenges us to demand so much more from our AI. Unity without erasure. Keep that in mind the next time you log on.